today's video. Today I wanted to share my favorite items that I used for Riley when she was 0 to 3 months old as a newborn up until 3 months. So let's jump right in. So the number one thing that I use and feel like I need to have, I did not have it the first 2 months, but it is the Owlet sock. So this is kind of a splurge item. It's like $300, $400 if you want to get it with the cam. We do not have the camera, we have a different baby monitor. I think if I had known I was going to end up purchasing the sock, I would have just bought the package deal and had the camera with it. But I ended up buying the sock when she was about 2 months old because I just wasn't sleeping at night. I was constantly checking on her, making sure she was breathing. And this gives me a little bit of peace of mind. You have a little sock like this, and it comes in different sizes. So this one is the 0 to 1 month size. She wears the next size up now, size 2. So she's wearing that, and she has the sensor on right now because she's taking a nap. But the sensor goes inside the sock and it measures their O2 level and their heart rate. So you know if it dips below a certain amount or is super high heart rate. If it goes above 220, an alarm will go off. If it goes below 60, an alarm will go off. And then if her O2 rate goes below 80%, it will sound an alarm. Hook it onto her foot, and the sensor is like right underneath her on top of the foot. It tells you how to put it on. There's like a little notch on the sock, and you put that below their pinky toe, and then it'll just monitor their heart rate and O2. And then to charge it, you plug it into a base station, turn it on, you click on the base station, it'll glow green. If everything's good, it'll turn yellow, and a lullaby will sing if you need to adjust the sock if it's not fitting the right way. If there's a difficulty reading the signal, a little different alarm will go off, and then it has like a certain alarm, or we've never had a red notification, but a certain alarm will go off and it'll flash red if you need to check on the baby. So it was definitely worth the money for the peace of mind, and I wish we had bought it when she was a newborn. Although she didn't sleep much the first 6 weeks, but I wish we had bought it right away, and I plan on using it from night 1 with our next baby. So another thing that we use daily still is this new Bobbie newborn lounger. I think it's like $40. Bought it at Target, and it's just this little pillow, and you just set the baby in a pillow. They can lay in it. You need to like supervise when they're laying in it. Unless you put them, well, even if you put them on the floor, I feel like they still need supervision. But we used that constantly when Riley was a newborn. It was the only thing she would sleep on, so it's the only thing she would nap on. So I just sit her next to me on the couch, so at least I had my hands free so I could like eat, whatever. I was still trapped on the couch, but like it was a little bit better. Nathaniel would put her on the table next to him when he'd play games on the computer. If I was working on the computer editing a video, anything like that, when she was younger, I just plop her on there if she was sleeping. And before she was really interested in playing on her play mat, it was a good spot for her to play too. We'd lay her in there, show her toys, and we still use it. If we just want her to sit next to us on the couch or lay next to us on the couch, we'll plop her in there. She's getting a little bit too big for it, which is really sad. I could do my top 3 things that you need for the baby. I'm going to show you more things, but I think it would be the Owlet, the newborn lounger, and then the other thing that I know not all babies like these, but our bouncer and our swing were really helpful too. In the first 6 weeks, Riley just was not a happy camper. She did not like being put down, but I needed to put her down somewhere. She would scream her head off if she was in the bassinet at all during the day. She'd cry a little bit less in the bouncer or the swing, so I could put her in there and she'd be happy for a little bit. So it'd give me time to get something to eat, go to the bathroom, whatever. It just gave me little bits of time here and there. And then these next couple things are things that were really important when she was a newborn, like the first 6 weeks. Number one thing, the first couple weeks, were these Swaddle Me Swaddles. So I still can't swaddle a baby in a blanket. We couldn't figure out how to get it to work. Neither of us could do it. Nurse showed us like 15,000 times at the hospital. Just can't do it. So we had these Swaddle Me swaddles. So I started out only with like 2 or 3, and our baby likes to spit up a lot. So we needed way more, so I ordered more. So I think we actually have like 5 or 6 now. But they're just these little, so you unbuckle it, you just stick them in the little pocket right there, and then you wrap it around, you tuck this underneath. It's kind of hard to show, but like I can't swaddle her in it now. She's way too big. I don't know if I have a picture of her in it or a video of her in it. But basically you can wrap the baby up real nice and tight, super easy. When I was asking Nathaniel what he thought important things were when she was little, this was his like #1 thing. She used this for the first few weeks until she started wanting to mess with her hands. She liked to suck on her hands a lot. So once she kind of moved on and wanted her arms free, we switched her over to this, what is it, Love to Dream, this little sleep sack. Her arms, like, their arms go up and they can still chew on it, do all that stuff. We only had one and that was really hard, but she really liked that and we really liked that. I wish we had bought more. I think it's hard to know what your baby needs until you have them, because if she didn't spit up so much, she wouldn't have needed so many like sleep sacks, but she spit up a ton, so we needed like a lot of extras of those and a lot of extra sheets, and those are things I wish I had known to buy more of sooner. But it's hard because if your baby doesn't spit up a ton, you probably don't need as many swaddles and sheets unless they like leak out of their diaper a lot at night too. Yeah. And then once Riley started sucking her thumb, so okay, I'm going to show you one more thing that we use a lot. Pacifiers. We had a ton of pacifiers because she loved it for the first 6 or so weeks. These ones were the best ones. These were the Philips Avent Air pacifiers. We had like 6 of those. I don't know, I stocked up on a ton of that kind because that one worked really well for her. I know babies are kind of, they take different things. I've heard really good things about these. Oh, there's a hair on it. What are these ones? The Soothie pacifiers. They're the ones that look like this, but Riley wouldn't take this. She didn't like this one. It's got more of like a round nipple compared to like a flatter one in the Philips one. So she didn't like that one, but we had a whole baggie of different kinds, but she liked the Philips one the best. That's definitely, if you're willing to try pacifier with your newborn, which I highly recommend, that's definitely a must-have thing. It would have been impossible to soothe her for the first 6 weeks without that. She did ditch it as soon as she found her thumb. She did not want anything to do with her pacifier. And that's when we switched her to like a sleeveless sleep sack. They sell a transition one of this where you can like unzip the arms and like transition them from like the arms up to like free arms. But I didn't buy that. I just bought some cheaper ones. I think I found them at TJ Maxx or Ross. They're like Carter's brand of sleeveless sleep sacks. But yeah, that was super important the first 6 weeks. Pacifiers were super important. And then this is what we use for a burp cloth. It's a cloth diaper. We just fold it up. We bought like 2 packs of 10 or 3 packs of 10. I don't even know. I think I bought more after she was born once I knew she spit up all the time and I wanted to stop doing laundry every day. These work way better than what's like marketed as a burp cloth. You can buy like a pack of 3 for like 15 of like they're actually called burp cloths from Target. But I find that these absorb better, they're bigger, they're easy to just buy packs and packs of. Like I said, we bought like a pack of 10 for maybe $12. So those are really good. That's what I recommend for a burp cloth over anything else. And then the other thing that's a must-have for those first 6 weeks, this is the Haakaa breast pump. It's like a manual breast pump. It's silicone, and if you're breastfeeding, so I only breastfed Riley for like 5 weeks, but this was super important because basically you can put it on your other breast, the one you're not feeding from. It'll catch your letdown. You can get like an extra ounce of milk to save, and that was super important. For her, because she was losing a lot of weight, she wasn't really feeding well on the breast, so I started giving her like pump milk. So this was helpful to have that like extra to give in a bottle after I would breastfeed her. I think I would give her a bottle with some pump milk, and then I think think we ended up giving her formula too. But this thing is really good for breastfeeding. I know there are people who are moms I've talked to that had their babies around the same time that are still breastfeeding, and they still use this all the time. It's really good for that. And I think I had a pump, and I didn't have a double pump too, so when I'd pump on one side I could put this on the other side to catch milk, and so it was just, it's really good for breastfeeding. And then the other thing I was gonna say about breastfeeding, that's like on my must-have list, snacks and ice water at night. That was the number one thing I needed in the middle of the night to stay awake those first 6 weeks. I would just get little round containers of snacks and just set them on the table next to the couch, have my water. I got an insulated cup, a big insulated cup. I'd make sure everything was just full and ready to go throughout the night so I wouldn't have to worry about getting it. I'd have to do refills sometimes in the middle of the night, but that was super, super important during those first few weeks when I was breastfeeding. All right, and then the last thing that I wanted to share for like my baby must-haves for the first 3 months are some toys. I think it was between 2 and 3 months when Riley started showing more interest in toys. When we kind of put something above her, she'd follow it with her eyes. It was closer to 3 months when she started reaching and grabbing things. So this toy is the O-Ball rattle. This was perfect for gripping. She can put her little fingers in between the holes and could grab onto it fairly early on. It was the first thing she really played with and actually grabbed and would like shake. And she still likes playing with this. Now she likes to try to shove the whole thing in her mouth, so that's fun. But this was a really good toy. They also have, we have something similar, it's not the exact brand, but they also have a ball. So it's this part of the rattle, but it's bigger. It's like a ball size. And I think it has little, some of the little holes are like filled with this plasticky thing and like the balls. So it's similar to this where they can grab it too. Like I said, the ball we have is similar to that, but it's not exactly, but she really liked that as well. She liked to lick it a lot. So this is a really good first toy. And then when she started to chew on things closer to 3 months, I think she's actually chewing on this in her 3-month picture. I think it was her 3-month picture. I don't think it was her 2-month. Yeah, I think it was her 3-month picture. She loves this little Sophie the giraffe. I know this is like $25. This is like $5. But this I know is a little bit more expensive. We got it as a gift from Nathaniel's cousin, but she loves this thing. She chews on it all day long if we let her. It's a really good, for lack of a better word, because I know that makes it sound like a dog toy, but it's a good chew toy. She likes to suck on it, chew on it. She likes to suck on its ears. I really actually need to clean this. It's looking rough. I might do that later. But it's really good. It squeaks, so it makes her smile. But she can also, it was one of the first things she could grab too, because she could just grab onto the little legs and hold it like this. So this is another really good toy. Anyway, that is it for this video. Those are all my top things. I'm just looking over my list. Yeah, those are all the top things that I love, that we will be definitely at least trying to use again. I know every baby's different, so some babies might not like this stuff, but we're going to attempt to use all these things again with our next baby. And just things that I wish I had bought more of, like I think I mentioned earlier, sheets. I wish I had bought more sheets. I wish I had bought more swaddles just to start. And then bottles. That's something I didn't mention because like we have the Dr. Brown's bottles with the vents and they're okay. I don't really like it because it just, there's a lot of pieces to it, so it's not one of my favorite products, but it's a good bottle. But we have the Dr. Brown's Natural Flow. They're like the pink bottles with the vents in it. And when she was born, we had the smaller like 4-ounce bottles, and I wish I had known to buy more. Obviously, if you're planning on breastfeeding, you probably don't need that many. But as soon as I knew I was switching to formula, I wish I had just stocked up on a whole bunch because it's annoying to hand wash them. I rinse them out and then I throw them in the dishwasher at the end of the night. But when she was eating 12 times a day, it was just hard to make sure there was always enough clean bottles. So I wish I had bought enough to cover a whole day and like a half just in case we got behind on dishes. So those are two things I wish I bought more of. But this is all my top stuff, all the things that I learned that I liked. and all my favorite stuff for babies that we'll definitely be using again. I hope you liked today's video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel to see more, and I will see you next time for another video. Bye.